Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, thank you so much for stopping by. I really hope that you will stick around and join in on today's conversation because you guys, it's going to be a really fun one. So Nate the Lawyer and Emily D. Baker are two different YouTube lawyers that's kind of been covering the Tati Westbrook and Katie Joy lawsuit. If you guys are not familiar with this lawsuit, I would highly recommend you go check out my playlist. It'll bring you up to speed. That way you can be a part of today's conversation. Both of these YouTube lawyers do an incredible job covering this story and really getting into the legal side of things. I love the way that they break it down, love the way that they talk. But they definitely do have different thoughts and opinions, and it's really fun to kind of see their dynamic together. Nate the Lawyer, of course, he is biased to Katie. He's actually friends with Katie, so it can be difficult sometimes with him, and he does get some heat for the fact that he is a little biased towards Katie, and he does kind of come off as that way in his content, but he's very honest about that from the beginning, and most of the time, he does not let that sway him from the actual legal situation and what's going on legally. Now, Emily D. Baker, on the other hand, you guys, we've talked about her here on the channel before. I love her. She is full of so much sass. She's definitely not biased to Katie Joy at all. And she's just so funny. She's got a little bit of a dirty mouth. She does say cursey words, as she says, and she's just really cool. I love her take on things. I love hearing her cover this story. She's very real, very honest, and very blunt. With that being said, they did do a live stream collab last night, and it was full of so many amazing moments. I would highly recommend you go and check it out for yourself. I will also link that down below too if you guys have not got to see it, but there was quite a few things I wanted to sit down and pinpoint, kind of recap, if you will. Those of you who don't have an hour, 2 hours to sit down and watch this live stream, we're going to recap all the juicy details and all the stuff that people really want to hear. Like I said, I really love their dynamic together. They were very joking. The conversation really just flowed, and you could tell they were both having a great time. We're all here because we want to know about the Without a Crystal Ball, aka Katie Joy situation, this lawsuit with Tati Westbrook. A lot of us have been following Nate the Lawyer and Emily D. Baker because they do have different dynamics. They have different thoughts on this particular case. If you've been following the story, then you know that this was supposed to be Katie's attempt at dismissing the motion. But unfortunately, it just wasn't there. Why go through all the trouble to do this huge motion to dismiss and then never really follow up with the dismissal itself? So that was the confusion. That's where it was like, why? Why even turn this in as your motion to dismiss when you never even requested a dismissal? So that was where the confusion came in. It seemed to me, in my personal opinion, it did seem as just a big waste of time. Now, Katie says that there's a lot that we don't know, but you know, this is going by public records, and this is going by what she had said was going to be this major breakthrough in this lawsuit. And unfortunately, a lot of us were left very underwhelmed, including Nate the Lawyer and Emily D. Baker. Even though Katie came for Emily on Twitter and, you know, kind of caused this drama around everything, Emily said, even throughout all of that, Katie still deserves to have a good lawyer. And in this particular situation, it doesn't seem as if her lawyer did the best job. They did talk very briefly about Katie's lawyer. He does seem to have extremely professional credentials. He seems to really have the experience. So they did mention that. Emily did make it very clear that she did think that he was a great attorney. They're not really sure what happened in this situation. I can tell you what happened, okay? But it is my personal thoughts. It's all alleged, but I believe that Katie kind of took the reins on this one. She really likes to be in control of situations. She's very dominant. She likes to be a leader. She likes to lead a conversation, and I think that's exactly what happened in this situation. And unfortunately, because of that, it was very underwhelming and very confusing. Something I did find very interesting is that they did kind of disagree on what's going to happen from this point. Nate believes that there is a good 70% chance that Katie's going to win this defamation because defamation is a really hard thing to win, honestly. Because she's a commentary channel, this is really going to protect her with this defamation. He said it was really hard to prove defamation cases. In most cases, the situation with commentary is people aren't supposed to take them as facts. It's just commentary. And that was his argument was, you know, she's not a facts channel. She's a commentary channel. She shares her thoughts and opinions on public stories. So his argument was that people should not take her so seriously or believe that what she is saying is facts without doing their own research. Now, of course, Emily pops in here, you guys, and she kind of claps back in a very nice way. She says that she disagrees. And I loved her standpoint, you guys. I really, really did. Like I said, I love both of these people, but Emily did mention a lot of really good points. A lot of people on social media have said that they refuse to purchase Halo products based off of Katie Joy, aka Without a Crystal Ball's commentary and the things that she has brought to the spotlight for people to know. And even if she does win the Tati side of all of this, there still remains the husband side of it. And the main thing here, I think, is the business aspect of it. But Tati does have another lawsuit with her business partner right now, which is Clark Swanson. And we're going to get into more detail about Mr. Clark Swanson and some beliefs, allegations, allegedly. This lawsuit with her business partner, Clark Swanson, is the big lawsuit. This is the one that really does make or break situations. Tati and her business. And Emily made a really good point that I thought was very, very interesting. She says that Tati may be coming for Katie and this whole lawsuit with Katie as a stepping stone to get to Clark Swanson, because allegedly, you guys, this is all alleged. This is not information that has came out yet, but I do find it extremely interesting. You guys have sent me a lot of comments on my videos as well addressing this matter, but a lot of people believe that Katie's anonymous source where she got all this information about the Tati Westbrook lawsuit and other information as well came from Clark Swanson. And if this is true, if Katie's source is Clark Swanson and he was the one giving her all of this information, this definitely changes a lot of things in that first lawsuit with Clark Swanson and Tati. Like I said, these two cases are separate, but in a big way, they are entangled. And I thought that that was really interesting that Emily said that, because it's true. I agree with her. I think that Tati is using Katie and this whole situation with defamation as a stepping stone to get to Clark Swanson. Katie Joy was the first person to really cover the Tati Westbrook lawsuit, and she has mentioned plenty times in videos that are now deleted that she had this anonymous source giving her all this information. And now that the dots are getting connected, it does kind of point to Clark Swanson as being that anonymous source. But as I said, this is all alleged. It's just, it really does make a lot of sense to me and to a lot of you, and obviously Nate the lawyer and Emily D. Baker, because they did talk about it. Now, if this is the case and Katie's anonymous source is Clark Swanson, then this can really change the game up for her lawsuit. If she admits to the fact that Clark Swanson gave her all this information, then that can really change things up for Katie's lawsuit. But it's also going to torpedo, as Emily says, the business lawsuit between Clark Swanson and Tati Westbrook. Definitely leaves a very nasty taste in my mouth, because if this is the case and Clark Swanson is this anonymous tip, then it shows that he used Katie's commentary as a public way to not only give Tati a bad reputation, but to kind of drag her business in general, because why? He was mad. This will really turn that particular lawsuit upside down if Katie does admit that Clark Swanson is her anonymous source. Now the question is, of course, will Katie admit it? Will Katie admit that Clark Swanson is where she was getting her information? Another thing that Emily mentioned, and I agreed with her and think it's extremely interesting, if she was Katie, she would pass this on, let Clark Swanson take the heat, because you guys have got to think, Katie's going to end up spending thousands and thousands of dollars on this whole lawsuit if it does continue on. There's over 40 to 50 videos where Katie has made videos and content about Tati Westbrook, her family, and just the whole situation. So there's a lot of evidence to go through. On just Katie's side alone, there's a lot of evidence to go through. This isn't only going to take weeks and weeks and weeks to really gather, but it's also going to cost a lot of money. So Emily did say, from a personal standpoint, if it was her and Clark Swanson was this anonymous source, you guys, that she would pass this on to Clark Swanson and kind of let him take the L for it, let him take the heat, and let them deal with this big lawsuit, and Katie just get out of the picture. definitely would be in Katie's best interest to just be like, you know what, I ain't got the money nor the time for this. Clark Swanson, he's the one who gave me this information, and let them fight it out in court and let her go on about her day. Because honestly, I don't know, personal opinions here, but I don't know if Katie is made out for court. I don't know if she will be able to make it through this lawsuit. I mean, we're talking about Tati Westbrook, this huge public figure with tons of money. She wants to push the matter. She can really take Katie for literally everything she's worth. And, you know, no matter if I disagree or agree with Katie Joy and her actions, I think that she's got enough going on because of this lawsuit, because of her actions. It would be devastating to see her literally lose everything because she wants to fight this case. So we're going to see what happens. You guys, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Nate the lawyer and Emily both agreed, though, that if this does go past defamation and actually goes to trial, it's not going to look good on Katie. There's just too much evidence here on social media, and there's a lot of things that come into play that's going to look really, really bad on Katie, even more so than the spotlight she's already in and the negative feedback she's already getting. It's not going to look good. I find it extremely interesting, all this information about Clark Swanson. There is a lot. This really does bring it all together, and it makes a lot more sense if he is indeed this anonymous source, because it really does connect those dots. A lot of the questions we've all been wondering. Of course, Katie has no comment. That's been her big thing lately. Has the damage already been done to the point that it doesn't matter anymore if she's quiet or she's not? That's the real question. What do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did and you want to stay in the loop on this lawsuit and everything else in the drama world, be sure to click the subscribe button, tap the bell for post notifications. That way you are notified every single time I upload. I appreciate each and every single one of you, and until the next time, bye.